Thank you, Kathleen, for this presentation.
Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome. Well, first of all, Hado Bear really wanted to be here, but he wasn't able to, and so he's made a video for all of you, just to say hi.
Hi, Mama P, and all the P's for P's. I wanted to be there with you, but Mama Hado Bear said that I needed to stay home and take care of the house for her. I'm a little disappointed about that, but I'm not alone. I have my friend Lamb Chop with me, and baby Hado Bear is sitting on the couch right across from me. I wanted to at least say hi to all of you and tell you how much I love all of you. And I thank you so much for all the support you've given to Mama Hado Bear and me. I hope you like our book and the message it sends to children and even to adults. I'm so happy when I see baby Hado Bear on Zoom with many of you. So I'll let Kathy get started with our presentation, and I will see you again later. Have fun.
Yeah. And while we're doing that, Karen Palmer has joined us on Zoom. Can we all say hi, Karen?
Okay, so I wanted to, I think everybody has a packet. I wanted to just give you a little background about how I came to this teaching and how I got Hado Bear. So I started learning about consciousness in the 70s, reading Edgar Cayce. And in the 80s, I started reading Louise Hay. And I found in the back of the book that she was a religious science minister. And I told you yesterday, I actually became a religious science minister. And one of the things I loved about her is that she took what she was doing in her ministry and brought it out to everybody, because it was for everybody. Any religion you come from, if you don't come from any religion or teaching, consciousness is still very important, and we're all consciousness, aren't we? We're all energy, as Dr. Emoto talked about yesterday, and Terry always teaches us. So in the 90s, I actually met someone who was becoming a religious science minister. And I was taking private courses with him, with a few other people. And I wasn't thinking of becoming a minister. And all of a sudden, a few years later, I'm sitting in my house. I had my own commercial real estate company. And I heard, okay, it's time to become a minister now.
Wow.
What? And it was very, very strong. So I found a church not too far from me to start taking lessons. And it's a very, very long process. Just to learn is 2 years. Then you have another year if you want to become what they call a practitioner, which is like a assistant minister. So I did that. There's a year of internship, and then another 2.5 years to become a minister. So it took a long time. But during that time, when I went to that church, I found out they didn't have anything for kids. And I said, if I had learned about consciousness when I was a little girl, my life would have been totally, totally different. I wouldn't have had the fear. I wouldn't have had a lot of things. So what I'd like you to do is open up your packet, first page. It look like this. It's a little questionnaire. And it's a private questionnaire. You can actually go and you can check off some of the things, or you can keep it private, don't show anyone. And it's basically asking, when I was a child, I felt or I had, and you can look at some of the things that I think we've all experienced, at least some of them. And just make a mental note. And I will tell you that I had more than one here, that's for sure. And just raise your hand when you're finished, so I know. Forward. Okay, so now I'm going to ask you, how many of the things that you checked off are you still dealing with in some form or another? I am. Because we're all in process, aren't we? So I started, when I went to this church, I asked the head minister, can I start a junior church there? Let's get some kids in here and let them know about this when they're really little, because their lives are going to be different. And so I started a junior church for kids between 4 and 12. And they're all grown now. They have much different lives. They learned without having fear. They had confidence in themselves. They knew that if they had challenges, that they would have the tools to turn that around. And that's how I met Dr. Emoto. Yesterday, I explained to you how I met him, and then I saw a book that he wrote, and it was about consciousness. And he actually showed in physical form what happens with our consciousness, how thoughts actually become things. And I said, wow, that's a great tool for children to have, because you talk to them about consciousness and they're, okay. But when you show them the water crystals, their mouths drop open. So I always wanted to write a book. And a friend of mine sent me a talking dog. And I said, wow, I wonder how she did this. And she sent me an app. And I was going to use a stuffed talking dog to talk to kids. And this was after I met Dr. Emoto. And when I went to meet Dr. Emoto, my friend Kathy, who was with me, who was the jewelry designer, and I were walking past the gift shop. And in the gift shop was this huge stuffed polar bear. And my friend Kathy said, Kathy, that has to be your bear. And she knew I was a kid. So I go in, $125 later, and a very big box on the plane. And because we were talking to Dr. Emoto, and he talked about Hado in the book, I named him Hado. And for many years, I had him upstairs in my bedroom. And a friend of mine, I was telling him what I wanted to do. And he came over one day, and he's got a whole business plan. His brain is just amazing. And I showed him the dog, and he said, you know what? Kids love bears. I said, well, I got a bear for you. So I brought Hado Bear down and said, that's what you got to use. And there was a woman who wrote a book called Lightworker, and her name is Savannah Arianta. I don't know if you've ever heard of her. In the back of the book, she says that she's a medium. So this was in 2014. I called her, and she said, there's words all around you. You're going to write a book. And I said, well, I've been wanting to write a book. And she said, it's not just going to be a book. There's going to be something else, a couple of other things that are going to go with the book. And so I was writing, I would sit and watch TV, have my iPad with me. And I would get ideas and I'd write them in the iPad. And I was still working for a big development company at the time with a very stressful job. And I figured I'm going to have to take a week off from work to be able to write this book. And one day I decided I'm not going to go to church that day. I had another minister who was going to be speaking. And it was a beautiful day. I went outside for a walk. Well, the whole thing just came together as I walked. And I came home and I wrote it in an hour. Now, it is not in the form that you're going to see. It wasn't that way. I wrote it over 30 times before I finally got it to what I wanted. But I used Hado Bear as the character of the book. And you'll see how Hado Bear is going through a lot of the things that we have on here. So it teaches children how we can turn things around. So I'm going to put the book up here. I'm not going to read word for word. If there's a page that has a lot of writing on it, I'll just summarize it. And then we'll look at the back of the book because it's kind of a teaching book. I actually read it to 800 children at my former grammar school. And it was just the most amazing, amazing experience. And I showed them Dr. Emoto's work and they got it. Even the preschools understood. So let's start with it.
They created the movement.
Yes.
Gracie has her hand raised.
Oh, I'm sorry, who? Oh, yes.
Hi, Kathleen, everybody's asking, is that my voice?
What was that? I didn't hear you.
Everyone's asking, is that my voice or Hado?
Oh, yes. Some people think it's Hado Bear's voice. It's actually mine. It sounds just like Gracie. So this is the cover of the book, which is written by me, and the illustrator, Melanie Hall, is an award-winning children's book illustrator. She teaches on the master's level in college. And my friend Kathy, who told me to buy the bear, was telling me you have to meet Melanie for 2 years. And finally, when I was writing the book, I finally said, well, she's probably the best person. And she's got a little voice like Gracie. So I said, I want her energy in it because she's got like an energy of a little kid. And she did such a beautiful job.
Wow.
So there's the book in Hado Bear. I finally had a bear so that we could give this to kids because I also have a nonprofit and we'll talk about that. Charlie and I will talk about that later on to help kids in hospitals. So that was the first illustration that Melanie did of Hado Bear. And so here we have Hado Bear placed in the gift shop. And it says, whoops, everyone will see you here. And Hado Bear says, oh, how exciting. And the storekeeper looks around. There wasn't anybody in the store. She hears somebody talking. And she says, who said that? And the storekeeper looked at the bear, but the bear just looked back at her innocently. And the next day now he's in the gift shop and all day long there's people walking by and he tried to look charming and pleasant so somebody would come in and buy him. And a little girl came in and she picked him up and she said, Mom, can I have this bear? And the mother said, no, we don't have time now, and took the kid and just pulled her out. And as they're leaving, Hado Bear said, bye. And the little girl looked around with these big eyes looking for him, who said bye. And then they left. And the next day, he's still there. And people are coming in and they're looking at him, but the kids are buying all different toys, not him. And he starts to wonder, what's wrong with me, right? Maybe I should be a dog or a cat. Maybe I should be a different color. Maybe I should be all these different things because he's thinking, well, nobody's buying me. Nobody's going to love me. And so the following day, and this is where it's a little bit of a true story, 2 women walk by. Now, the lady with the blonde or curly hair, she really has beautiful, beautiful gray hair. She's very tall, and that's my friend Kathy. And the other one, I'm not that tall, unfortunately, but she made me look really good. And here's where Kathy said, you should buy that bear. But I've changed the name to all the names to protect the innocent here. And every name that's in the book is a name of somebody that really means something to me. So let me find this now. Okay. So later that day, the two people saw them. And so in here, my name is Donna and my friend's name is Marie. And Donna has a niece staying with her named Janine. And Marie is saying, shouldn't that, that would be a great present for your niece Janine. And Donna says, oh, yes, he's so cute. I love him. But there's something special about him that I really can't understand. So Donna goes in, buys the bear, and is now taking him home. So they're riding in the car, and Hado Bear is thinking, oh, I'm going home to be with my new family. I can't wait. But when should I tell my secret? He's thinking, maybe I'll better wait until we get home. And so here he's the person who actually put this, was the designer. He went crazy with what to do with that squirrel in the page. So here, Donna and the bear are coming in, and Janine sees the bear and she goes to grab him, and Donna says, he's yours, Janine. And she said, oh, thank you. This is the best present ever. So now they're all sitting together in the living room, and they're asking her, and the bear is saying, wow, this is one of the best days of my life. So they're sitting in the living room, and Uncle Bill says, Janine, what are you going to name the bear? And she starts to think long and hard, and she said, you know, Aunt Donna, you told me something about Hado. And it means that we had energy, and energy is always in motion. It makes our heart beat, it gives us the way of doing all these different things. It helps us to breathe. And she said, you told me the Japanese word for that energy is Hado. So, oops, sorry. I'm way ahead of myself. Here we go. So then Aunt Donna says to her, yes, Janine, that's how our thoughts and our words are reflected back to us in our life experience. And she said, yes, what we talked about is that when our thoughts are positive, that we attract those positive things, and that's what makes us feel strong and happy. But when our thoughts are negative, that's when we can start to feel weak and sad. So during this time, the bear is listening to everything that they're saying. And the bear's thinking, and she's saying too, that when I saw my bear, that I felt his happy energy, and that's why I'm going to name him Hado Bear. And from now on, when I see Hado Bear, I'll remember to have happy thoughts and to say good words. And so the bear listened to everything that they were saying, and he realized that when he didn't think that he was good enough for someone to buy him, he was really sad, and he didn't even feel good. But then he heard Donna say, I love him, and he started to feel differently about himself. And he realized that he needed to keep his thoughts and his words positive. And he said to himself, I really like my new name, Hado Bear. So that night, Janine brings him upstairs to her room. And this is my favorite illustration in the book. I just love those colors, right? So she says, she puts him in the bed with her, and she says, good night, Hado Bear. And Hado Bear whispers back, good night, Janine. And he dreamt of all the fun things that he was going to do with Janine. But the next morning, Hado Bear wakes up and he hears Janine crying. And he's wondering, well, how can I help her? But I don't know what's wrong. And he knew he couldn't keep his secret any longer. And Hado Bear took a deep breath and bravely asked out loud, Janine, why are you crying? And Janine was startled, and she looked around and she said, well, who said that? And he said, oh, Janine, it was me. Hado Bear, I can talk. She says, you can talk? I never heard of a stuffed bear that could talk. He says, yes, I can talk, but why are you crying? And she said, I don't really want to go to school today because I don't think the kids there like me. And she's crying. She's got the tears running down her cheeks. And she said, I feel different from all the other kids. And he said, I know how you feel. And he said, when I was in the gift shop, I didn't think anybody loved me. And he knew how she was afraid. And then your Aunt Donna also said that when she loved me, I started to think, gee, maybe I'm okay. And you're okay, Donna. Until now, I was afraid that I couldn't tell anybody that I could talk, but I know I can tell you and you'll still love me. And Janine said, yes, of course I'll still love you, Hado Bear. And she says, maybe we should talk to Aunt Donna about all of this. And Hado Bear says, well, I don't really know. She's a grown up. I don't know if she's going to know and understand how we feel, right? And Janine reminded Hado Bear that Aunt Donna was very wise and that she told her about Hado. So Hado Bear finally agreed that, okay, we'll go talk to them. Oops, how did that happen? There we go. So now they're at breakfast with Aunt Donna and Uncle Bill. And at breakfast, Janine and Hado Bear are wondering, well, when should he tell his secret? And finally, Janine told Aunt Donna and Bill that she didn't want to go to school that day because she was crying. And Hado Bear told her not to cry and comforted her. And Aunt Donna said, Hado Bear can't talk, he's a stuffed animal. And all of a sudden, Hado Bear says, yes, I can talk. And Aunt Donna spills her coffee and Uncle Bill is like, oh my God. So once they got over her shock, Janine said, he said to Donna, Janine still loves me even though I'm different. But I'm not sure how the other people will think about me when they hear me talk. And Janine said, I really would like, maybe I'll go to school now. I don't know. So Aunt Donna then says to them that there's something different, special about each one of us. And we're all perfect just the way we are. And she told Hado Bear, I knew that there was something different about you, but I couldn't really figure out what it was. And she told him, it's wonderful that you're a talking bear. And the main thing that she told him is don't ever be afraid to show who you are or think that you have to change to have someone love you. So she told Janine, be kind and a good friend to your classmates. And as they get to know you, they'll want to be your friend too. And remember, Hado, good thoughts attract good feelings and good things. And Hado Bear will remind you, Janine. And finally, Janine hugged her aunt and she said, you know what? I'm going to get dressed and go to school after all. And she asked Hado Bear, do you want to come with me? And he said, oh, yes, I want to come with you. Okay. I'm way ahead of myself. I'm sorry. Somehow, this is not going in the right direction. There we go. Sorry about that. I'm going down instead of up. Okay. So that's where they did that. Okay. So now Hado Bear is saying, he really would love to go with her. And now they go into the schoolyard and they see a little boy who's sitting by himself and he looks very, very sad. And Janine goes over to him and says, hi, I'm Janine. This is Hado Bear, and asks his name. And he says, I'm Joey. He said, I was playing with some of the other kids, but I couldn't run as fast as them. So I just came over here to sit and watch. And that's how sad he looked. And so Hado Bear says, sorry, I'm way out of here. So Hado Bear says hello to him, and Joey looks at him like the little girl did with wide eyes, like, did I just hear that bear talk to me? He says, yes, I did. So Hado Bear is laughing, and the little boy is laughing, and he says, Janine and I know what it's like to feel alone and different. But this morning, Janine and I learned something very important. And he told them we're all made to be different, and we're all perfect just the way we are. And we don't have to be like everybody else. We just have to be ourselves, to be kind, to keep good thoughts. And you don't have to change to fit in at all, Joey. So let's be friends. And now, all of a sudden, all the other kids start coming over and we're starting to talk to them. And Janine and Hado Bear actually had a great day at school with Joey. And they made new friends. And once the kids got over the surprise of a talking bear, they all accepted Hado Bear, and they were delighted that he could talk. And the other children invited Joey to play a game with them again the next day. And Hado Bear told them about Hado. And from that day on, Hado Bear, Janine, and all the other children remembered to keep their thoughts and words positive and to have good Hado. And so they say to look in the mirror, as we talked about, and it says, see how special you are. And here, Hado Bear is saying goodbye, and I'll see you again soon. So that's the end of the book, but in the back of the book, we have some questions, and I don't know if you can see them too well on here. The type didn't transfer over into a PowerPoint too well, but I want to go over some of the questions that we have in the back of the book for a parent or an adult to look at with the children. And the first one is, what was Hado Bear's secret and why was he keeping it? And why did the bear think he had to do something to have somebody buy him? This is something, again, that we start thinking, well, what do I have to do to have people like me? And I think a lot of kids go through that. I think a lot of adults do that. And do you think you need to change to make someone love you? And why? What did Hado Bear and Janine learn from positive thoughts and about positive thoughts and words? And I asked them to give an example of a positive word and give an example of a negative word. And do you think that Hado Bear was brave when he told his secret to Janine? And when Janine suggested they talk to Aunt Donna, Hado Bear wasn't so sure that they should do that and that an adult would not understand what they're going through. And should you be afraid to speak to an adult when you're having a problem? And what did Aunt Donna tell them about being different? And what did Aunt Donna tell Janine to do when she goes to school? And what did Aunt Donna tell Hado Bear about the fact that he was different from all the other toy animals? And what did you like best about the book? And how can you use the things that Janine and Hado Bear learned in your own life? So this can really start a conversation, and parents can actually find out through this too, if a child is having a problem, and maybe get them to open up so that the parent or the guardian or the adult can actually help them with it. Then we have something that I actually kind of stole from Louise Hay. And this is called Turn It Around. And I give the kids 10 negative thoughts, and I give them below that 10 positive thoughts. And they pick out the positive thought that can turn the negative thought around. So the first one is there's never enough time to do it all. That's the negative thought. And the positive thought, they can turn it around and say, I always have plenty of time, right? I'll just go through a few of these. It's hard making new friends. And they can say friends are easy to make. I'm afraid of trying new things. Trying things I've never done before is actually fun. I'm not as smart as the other kids. I do the best I can and know that that is enough. So after that, I also have a word scramble that the kids can do, just something fun. And this is when I went to my grammar school. The first picture is in the auditorium. I did 2 sessions of 400 kids each. And one little girl, when I asked, what did you learn? And this was the first time I went to a school. And I was basically told by spirit, this is what you're meant to do. Because a little girl raised her hand, came up, told what she learned, and looked at me and said, you're wonderful, and gave me this big hug. Oh my God. I was holding back tears. It was just absolutely amazing. Here, they asked me to go to the preschools, so the little preschool kids loved Hado Bear. This is an after-school program in the Bronx, Banana Kelly. And now, this is my nonprofit, Hado Bear's nonprofit, called Source of Guidance. And we call the children that we work with, or that we send things to that are seriously ill or have problems, we call them Hado Bear superheroes. So these are just a very few. And some of them are kids that have done something really special for someone else. So I'm just going to point out a couple. This is Haven, baby Haven, when he was first born. Sorry, honey. I don't know if you can see. He was 9 ounces. He was the size of a soda can. His mother was told to terminate the pregnancy, that this child is never going to live. And if he does, he's going to be so sick, it's going to be horrible. She couldn't do it. He's now going to be 4 on January 1st. And he has some problems. He has autism. He has a lot of physical problems. But this child is the sweetest. He's got the hugest heart. He's so smart. And we look back and say, oh my God, if you had terminated him. He has given so much joy to so many people. And I find a lot of these children on Facebook because mothers are putting their stories on there. And I contact the mother and I give them a book, a bear. And I also have a Hado Bear superhero club. And I send out a certificate that they're a member of that club. This is baby Wyatt. When he was about, maybe he was less than a year old here. This was my first Hado Bear superhero. This is Freddie. This little one has passed away, unfortunately. He was the cutest little thing. This one is in a school in Florida, and it's for a child school with, special needs, and they've made Hado Bear their class mascot. That's baby Haven. He just pretty much came home from the hospital. He was in the hospital 8 months. And this was him when he was about a year old. This little girl couldn't read, and this lady helped her, and we had a little contest, and she won Hado Bear on the book. This little boy is like a daddy to his little brother, and the little brother has Down syndrome. And so I sent it to they had a big family. I sent out to all of them. I don't know if you remember, a couple of years ago, actually probably 3 years ago now, it was all over the news that these 2 little boys were going into school, and the little blonde boy was crying. And his name is Connor, and this is Christian. They didn't know each other, and Christian just put his hand out and comforted him and his mother happened to have it on video and went viral all over. So I contacted them, and we've become very good friends now. And I've done that with a lot of the mothers. So we've sent them everything because they brought up so much kindness out into the world. This is Christian now, probably a couple of years ago. And this was at Cohen's Children's Hospital. We did a Hado Bear Day, and we've given hundreds of books and bears to hospitals and Ronald McDonald House. And you might recognize somebody in this.
Yeah, my bad dad.
Take your mask off. Your dad, Charlie, is the president of a nonprofit called the Charles Fogg Foundation. And they actually purchased 100 books and bears to be given to Stony Brook Hospital's Children's Hospital. And it was amazing. And I'm always so, so grateful for Charlie to be able to do that. And so Hado Bear has a closing message. And then if you have any questions, you'll let me know. We have enough time for questions?
Yeah.
Okay.
Quick hi again. Now that you've seen how important it is to me to teach children what I've learned about keeping our thoughts and words positive, I'm asking you to also spread that message to as many children and adults as you can. Although it's challenging at times, it really does help to attract positive experiences, and also it can help to turn around a day that might not be going so well. So always remember, you are perfect just the way you are. I'd like to give a gift to a child that you know. Kathy will be giving you a gift certificate for it. Sending you a big bear hug. Bye for now, and have fun the rest of the retreat.
So I want to let you know the tactics that you got are what I use when I do a workshop for parents or adults. And in there, it gives you some suggestions on how to teach the children, how to keep it in the whole family, not just that one child, to be the example of this. And in the back, there is a gift certificate that you can give to a special child in your life or someone in your family. And all they have to do is email Hado Bear, and we will send them a special Hado Bear video. It could be a birthday present, it could be a holiday present, it could be a congratulations present, it could just be an I love you present. But we'd be happy to do that.
Yeah, Daddy was good for my 5-year-old cousin and my 2.5-year-old for when we tripping with them, right? For Tina kid.
Yes. Chris, they're Catherine.
Yeah, Elga.
It's not just kids. Charlie sent me a message for my birthday last year.
Yes.
And I got it in text form from Hado Bear. Hado Bear talked and
No,
all my friends.
My birthday is for all the Easter that way.
I think several of the Ps have received
Yes.
messages from
Yes.
Hado Bear. They
Yes.
gifted to them. And I want to share that Kathleen is available to do that. Send her an email, and there's a small charge for doing that because it's her time. But I highly recommend it if you have someone that could use that lift. Hado Bear certainly gives it to them.
Yes.
What if we want to order some for, like I have my grandchildren, they're not my nieces. Can I order through you to have a book and a
Absolutely.
bear sent to them?
So I have some here. I can also send it. Not a problem. And anyone that buys one here, there's a 10% part of that that's going to go to Terry's nonprofit too.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Kathleen, didn't you also donate?
Yeah.
Oh, thank you, Jean. Go ahead.
She also donated a bear book as part of our
Right. So,
Yes, and Jean's husband and her sent one out too.
And she sent me the prettiest happy birthday.
Yeah.
It's just started crying.
Yeah.
Hado Bear.
We all have some. For kids, you know.
This is my Hado Bear that has traveled the country with me.
My father went to war with Disney and give me
I
lessons.
think that's so dirty, you gotta get a new.
Saw that. So your drink has been knocked over.
I tell you what, when you can tell me if I was with me on the plane and giving me lessons already, so.
Yes, I know that we have other hands raised, but can we take a pause and say hello to Marietta? You're muted, Marietta, but we see your beautiful face.
Oh, there I am. I have been out in the yard clearing debris from the hurricane. Can you hear me?
Again?
I say I've been out in the yard clearing all of the tree limbs and everything from the high winds here.
Oh, bless your heart.
We got,
Don't have hearts here.
we have 20 trash cans that they just hauled away of the leaf debris.
Wow. Did you all hear that? 20 trash cans from leaf debris. How about the hurricane did when it came? Marietta, we love you so much. Thank you. Can we all say?
Glad to join in. I'll listen in here.
Yes. You've seen the changes t-shirt, right? The retreat t-shirt?
Yes, I did. Those are lovely.
Yeah.
Well, make sure you get one, Marietta.
Except a line allowed.
We love that. Thank you for joining us today.
Come on, Leo.
Oh, yes, we have Leo sitting right beside of you, Marietta.
All right. I saw your presentation the other day too about how important it is to take good care of the body.
Yeah, have you started already?
Oh, I've been at it a while.
Oh, yeah. That's a good exercise.
Oh, we love you, Marietta. Thank you for being here with us.
All right.
So, and the books are autographed, and if you have a child or somebody you're gonna send it to, just let me know the name, we'll write something special in there for that child. Or it could be a family.
Yeah, my cousins, my widower cousins, they are 5 and 2.
Mm-hmm.
I wanna give them a Hado Bear for Christmas.
Your 2-year-old cousin won one that Kathy donated.
Yeah,
So your 2-year-old cousin already has a Hado Bear.
yeah, she
And
was,
so is your brand new cousin that's coming because Christine gave it as a gift at the shower.
Oh, that's great.
Beautiful.
A lot of people do that now, they send them a card or whatever, they ask for books.
Yes.
So a lot of people are buying things for showers now also.
yeah, but Terry, yeah, and that night, Chloe, the baby due a different month, so.
Awesome. I think somebody over here had their hand raised before we stopped and said hello to Marietta.
I was just seeing an example of how Hado Bear, and we've spoken with Kathleen, and Jean was mentioning it. Hado Bear is for the whole range of the spectrum of what our growth in life. And it's, when we get to that point where we're now about to, we've experienced our life and we're now sitting up and look back, this is also comfort for our grandparents. Because they too, and it's been something where maybe even in nursing homes. So even your grandparents. I'm not your grandfather.
That's true. The other thing is, if you go on Amazon and you see the reviews, I would say 90% of the people write, this is also for an adult. And my cousin, who's, I'm sorry, Iris, but she is one of the most negative people I think I've ever met. And I sent her the book, and she ended up buying 6 of them for her grandnieces and nephews. And she called me up, she said, you know, this really helped me. I'm going to try to be more positive.
Yeah.
That's pretty
If I could
good.
just share something, my adult niece suffers from depression.
Yes.
And she had a couple of seizures and
Mhm.
stuff. She's 25 and we sent her out there. And she really liked it. Came in, I didn't tell her anything. And of course, it was autographed and a special little message to her. So yeah, it's cool. It's really
So
great.
what we gave to you in the beginning, we want to make sure that a lot of kids don't have that. Or if they have it, that they have the tools now to turn that around so that as they get to be an adult, they're not having all of that. You know, and it's, like we talked about, it's a process. Even when you know this, you have to work at it. You have to practice it. And like, oh, Jean, I kept going past Jean, kept saying, sorry. Auntie Jean, you and I. She said, stop saying sorry. I said, it's right. I'm not supposed to do that.
It costs you money.
It's $1 every time you
That's
say
$1. Okay, all right, that's fine. I'm gonna remember that.
I have a great thing. So the first day of the retreat when Brett went and picked you up, I got a phone call from my nephew and they're pregnant. And they're beautiful people inside now. And they've both been through significant scenarios. Hers is she was a cliffhanger and she dropped like 30 feet. Wow. On her back and she slipped. She made it through nursing school and now she's pregnant. So she's a miracle. So wow. I'm just saying, I'm gonna get a message to her. Yeah, so I'm just that's a beautiful thing and thank you so much.
It's spirit. You know, I tell Terry all the time, when I have Hado Bear sitting in my living room, so I see him all the time. And he's in this huge chair that is too big for me, I think. And when I look in the bear's eyes, and I can't tell this to too many people, but I can tell it to you guys, I see a soul in there. I actually see that there's a spirit there that's wants to get out. And it reminds me of me when I was young. I felt I was trapped in my body. And I realized, I kept looking at my arm saying, this isn't me. Me is in here. And I felt I was looking out of these windows and I wanted to get out. Not that I was going to kill myself or anything, but I felt trapped. And I kind of see that soul inside of Hado Bear, that he wants to get out. And that it's kind of like a freight train going through me, that if I don't do this and I leave this life, I'm going to be kicking my rear end.
Well, we talked about how everything is energy.
Yes,
Energy
yes.
is alive.
Mhm.
Hado Bear is alive.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
And brought into life with so many.
Mhm.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone. I appreciate it. Books and bears over here. We don't do it now, but if you want something to take home, let me know. And I have cards over there, bookmarks over there. So if you need to contact me later on, you want me to send something someplace, you let me know.
I have a very important question.
Mhm.
How do you make his mouth move?
Magic. No, I have an app
Oh, it's
on my iPad that you can, I originally had it with a very low voice because I figured up bears. And something said to me, kids are not gonna resonate with this low voice. And so even though to me, he's a little boy, his voice hasn't changed yet, and it's never going to. He's always gonna be a little boy, so he's gonna have a high voice.
So that moves his head and everything.
Pardon me?
So that moves his head and everything.
Yeah.
Just through that.
They updated the app and I don't like it. I'm doing this still on the old app, Instead of the eyes moving, they had the eyes blinking, but they had the eyes blinking too fast. And I don't like it, so I'm affirming that this old app is still gonna work.
It does. Thank you so much.
So thank you, everyone.
Listen up for my voice on those cartoons. I
already have, I've made a vision board, and I think it's on my vision board. I took a picture of my television, and then I took another picture and I put Hado Bear in there. I don't think he's gonna be too happy about it because it's at a beach. So polar bears are not too happy in the heat, but he'll get used to it. It says Hado Bear's Adventures, so that's what I really want to do is get him into a cartoon.
Oh, he's on the straight up already. Yeah, you can do that for you.
Somebody came to me one time at church before I wrote this, and she came in for a practitioner session, and she started to cry, and I said, "Why are you crying?" She said, "I don't know if you're going to be here too much longer." I said, "What do you see something?" Wow. So she said, "No, I think Disney's going to come and they're going to want to Hado Bear and they're going to leave." I said, "Oh my God, from your mouth to God's ears." But I have to have control. They can't have control of me. Anyway, so if anybody wants to visualize that for Hado Bear, please do that.
Absolutely. It's great.
Be the new Paddington Bear.
Well, I saw it's not on a cruise ship.
Oh, yeah. A changes retreat on a cruise ship.
Not a cruise.
That's great. Thank you.
Please check with her if you do